Allah Yamla Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Wahabra Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostle GMS, and the elders who teach and rule well. Peace and salutation to the brothers, Salakia. Peace and salutation to the brothers who are doing the work, the elect, and then Shalom Wahab to the brothers and the sisters who are waiting the return of our Lord and Savior. Okay, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So it's a quick hit. Upcoming persecution of the saint. This is how all the apostles died. Okay, so I just wanted to do that, little edification lesson, regarding the work that we're doing. All right. There's a time for everything. The Bible says that there's a time for everything, and then I think us as brothers, we need to understand that, we did the work, I'm through the spirit, we don't have much more, time, what I'm saying, in these highways and byways. So the brothers that, are waiting forever, to come and join the ranks, you better do it now before it's too late, because things are changing. And, we should now, gather ourselves, and we should get ourselves ready spiritually, to face, Esau, man, to face Esau, because he says here, you can even go to, Second Ezra, 16, he talks about that. But I wanted to read Revelation 12. Okay, Revelation 12 and 17, and say, and the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of the seed which kept, which is like which keep the commandment of Yahweh and have the testimony of Yahweh Mashiach. Okay, it happened with the apostles, the disciples who became apostles. Okay, it happened with them, man, and I have an account of what happened to each one of them. Like as a reminder, you know, of how real this truth is, man. This thing of ours, the work is a real thing, you know. And I would like to read as well. Um, I wanted to read as well. Um, it will come back. It will come back. Yeah. So if I can't find the precept, if it's gonna come back, I just want to read that. The account of our people, catching hell, man. It came back. It came back. Revelation 6 and 10. You know, Revelation 6 and 10 is prophecy. It reads, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord Yahweh, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? All right. And verse 11, and white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they shall rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servant also and their brethren that should be killed as they well as they were should be fulfilled. Verse 20. I mean Revelation 20. Revelation 20. Verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushai, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had receive his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Amashiach 1,000 years. Okay, so the Most High, His word is never a lie, man. It's prophecy that are manifested, and we can see through the Spirit that something is coming at some point that will come from the men of the Lord. So I just wanted you to put that in your spirit, and you know, we're gonna quickly read this. Let me share my screen quickly. It's something, man. It's something. This truth is something. This truth is something. Something. It's not something. That's why you know we shouldn't judge the next brother, whatever is happening. You got to understand, whatever is happening with brothers and this and that, the Most High is in control, because we cannot understand everything. We cannot understand everything. So we got to let, the movie play. And at the end, if we focus enough and we watch a movie, we're gonna see what transpired, the conclusion of the matter. So me, this is me. I'm giving you an example, right? Right now, I love all brothers. Now, if a brother get out of the line, if a brother get out of line, so like yeah, if a brother get out of line around me, I will check him, but I will use a new method that I put in place to check brothers. Before it was a bit too, ruthless. I would say it was real, but I understand that sometimes you gotta change your energy, like, to be harmonious with brothers. So I'll always keep it real, but I rather have patience and love brothers and that. But it doesn't mean that brother can come around me and do whatever they like. This is time for us to be real. If a brother come around me, it has to be an energy where it helped me to fight my demons. I don't want to be fighting my demon and fighting another brother demon, because demon jump on people. You know what I mean? When you're around brothers, their demon can jump on you, right? But it has to be done with love, right? So right now, let's focus on ourselves. Focus on yourself, how you can get the mercy of Yahweh, man. Don't focus on the next brother. Don't focus on the next brother. Because the time you use to say, oh, the brother this and that, listen, what about you? Have you checked your closet properly? Are you sure there's no, dry bones left in your closet? So check your closet. Check your closet, man. Self-examine, be self-accountable, and check it. This is the time for us to check ourselves, man. Let's not worry about the next brother. Let's check ourselves. Yeah, because this is what's coming. So now let me read it. How the apostle and some disciple, all right, how the apostle and some disciples, let me see something, man, quickly. Let me see if I can do it this way. You know, uh, bear with me for a second. I just want to do something. I want to try a thing. All right. I'm kind of like, okay. Oh man. All right. So okay. All right. So now let me see what I can do with this one. All right. So now, okay. So how the apostle and some disciples of Amashiach died, right? Number one, Matthew suffered martyrdom in Ethiopia, killed by a sword wound. So he was killed. All right, he was killed by a sword wound. He got shot, like they say. He got shot. All right, and he died. As a result. Okay, he died. He died. From his gunshot wounds. If you want to put it in our, in our time, in our context. Okay, in the context of our time, this is how Matthew died, man. He ain't done nothing. All he did is rep Rahab Shai, and this is how he died. I really the one going out in England. I'm talking about England because we live in England, and he applies as well to America. Wherever brothers are doing the work, aren't we doing the work before Babylon? Aren't we doing the work in the belly of the beast? Let me read quickly Amos 5:5-7, man. Because that's us. We the one doing that. We the one fulfilling these precepts, man. Amos 5:7 or no. Micah 5:7.
My favorite thing about pride is that it's very easy.
Micah 5:7. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people as a dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass that tarrieth not for men, nor waiteth for the sons, of men. Okay, verse 8. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of the sheep. Okay, who if he go through both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver, man. So some will have power, but a lot of men will die, man. A lot of the men, the Lord will be put to death, and that's the reality. That's where we're going. So we need the mercy of Yahweh, man. We need the mercy of Yahweh. We need to be introspectives. We need to check ourselves first and leave everything. Let the movie play out, man. Because all of everything that you see is prophecy manifested, man. And some brothers are signed, and you don't necessarily understand the sign. And some brother, they're given a certain assignment. What we that come with fire as well, where they're being purified, and that purification sometimes you don't understand. All you have to understand it. So focus on yourself, man. Okay. Number 2, Mark died in Alexandria, Egypt, after being dragged by horses through the street until he was dead. You see that? Real shit, like we say, excuse me, my French. All right. Verse. Number 3, Luke was hanged in Greece as a result of his tremendous preaching to the lost. So we are there doing the work and everything, but Esau, is recording it, man. He's recording everything. Okay, and he's gonna come like the Bible says in Isaiah 59:19, man. It's gonna come like a flood, Verse 4. Verse 4. Number 4, John faced martyrdom, okay, when he was boiled in a huge basin or cauldron of boiling oil during a wave of persecution during a wave of persecution in Rome. You see that? However, that's John the Revelator, man. However, he was miraculously delivered from death. I wonder if John through the through reincarnation wasn't one of the brothers that were thrown into the fire. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abnego. And I don't know, because you tend to relieve, your past life in different forms, but sometimes it's the same. There's always something that follows you, right? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying it, bro. I'm just saying, yeah. I'm just using the Bible knowledge to say something, to come to certain conclusion. I'm not saying nothing basically, but let's focus on what he say right there. So I'll read it again. John faced martyrdom when he was boiled in a huge basin or cauldron of boil boiling oil during a wave of persecution in Rome. You see that? However, he was miraculously delivered from death. John was then sentenced to the mines on the prison island of Patmos. He wrote his prophetic book of Revelation there on the island of Patmos. The Apostle John was later freed and returned to serve as bishop, okay, of Edessa in modern day Turkey. See, he died as an old man, the only apostle to die peacefully. So some men will go through hell, but they will come out. They will be saved, man. You know, few. You see, out of all of the apostles, only him was able to make it, but not without being thrown into some boiling oil. You see that? Verse 5. Peter, okay, Peter, King David, Peter, all right, because if you go to Matthew 19 and 20, starting at 27 all the way to 29, it tells you, Yahweh shall tell the 12 disciples that will be sitting on throne, right? So he's the head of the church, and it tells you as well in Revelation, Ezekiel 37, verse 24, I believe that 22 or 24, it says that, King David will be, the king, and the shepherd will be Yahushai. All right, so King David will rule. So we all know that if Apostle Peter is the head of the church, he will be the one sitting. He'll be the one. He'll be the head. The head of the 12 apostles. Since they're going to be ruling, they're going to be sitting on throne, judging. All right. So, and judging mean like, regulating, organizing, like a government. All right. So Peter was crucified upside down on a cross. Huh. According to church tradition, it was because he told his tormentors that he felt unworthy to die in the same way that Yahweh has died, man. He was a warrior, man. Peter was a warrior, man. Peter was a warrior, you know. And on top of that, he's the New Testament. He's the leader of the church, the head of the church. Old Testament, who's the head of the tabernacle? Tabernacle, it's the water. The tabernacle of the water, right? So that's true. That is true. That is biblical. Peter is, King David. That is biblical, right? 6. The leader of the church in Jerusalem was thrown down over 100 feet from the southeast pinnacle of the temple when he refused to deny his faith in the Mashiach. You see that? So the brother of Yahweh, the leader of the church in Jerusalem, was thrown down over 100 feet from the southeast pinnacle of the temple when he refused to deny his faith in the Mashiach. You see that? And when they discovered that he survived the fall, his enemies beat James to death with a Fuller's Club. I don't know what that is. This was the same pinnacle where Satan had taken Yahushua during the temptation, man. Wow. It's deep. They beat him to death after they threw him from the pinnacle, man. He survived. They went and looked for him. They saw that he went dead, and they beat him to death. James, the sons of Zebedee, was a fisherman by trade. You see how Yahushua picked all these warriors, because the fishermen, if you know a fisherman, they got tough. They're tough. You got to be tough to be a fisherman, man. See, war is a strong element, James, the son of Zebedee, was a fisherman by trade when Yahushua called him to a life of ministry. As a strong leader of the church, James was beheaded at Jerusalem. You see that? So all the head of the camps, they're coming for you, man. All the head of the camps, probably that, have a certain, they're coming for you. Okay? The Roman officer who guarded James watched in amazement as James defended his faith at his trial. See that? Later, the officer walked beside James to the place of execution. Overcome by conviction, the Roman officer declared his new faith to the judge and knelt beside James to accept beheading as a Christian. Right? And you're gonna find out that officer was a Jake. Because Esau don't give it. Esau ain't gonna say, "Oh, I'm becoming an Israelite now." You can't become an Israelite. So it must have been, a Jake. All right. So our people were officers that are working. We've been working for Esau for a long time, man. And our own people will be used against us. And there's a lot of them in the camps. You see brothers like posing to be Israelite and that. Some of them are agents. Number 8, Bartholomew, Bartholomew, also known as Nathanael, was a missionary to Asia. He witnessed for our Lord in present-day Turkey. Bartholomew was, I hope I'm saying it right, was martyred for his preaching in Armenia, where he was flayed to death by a whip. You see that? So there's a lot of our people in Armenia too. That's why some people say that the Kardashian are Jake. I won't be surprised. There's a lot of Armenian there's a lot of Jake in Armenia, man. These Armenians, a lot of them are Jakes. And number 9, Andrew was crucified on an X-shaped cross in Petras, Greece, after being whipped severely by 7 soldiers that tied his body to the cross with cords to prolong his agony. All right. His followers reported that when he was led toward the cross, Andrew saluted in these words, "I have long desired and expected this happy hour." You see that? The cross has been consecrated by the body of Mashiach hanging on it. He continued to preach to his tormentors for 2 days until he expired. You see that? So the cross wasn't no tree. It was a tree, but it was in form of cross. Okay, because that was like the way the Roman, dealt with people that deemed to be, either criminals or whatever, rebels and that. Just like you got the death penalty in the modern day Rome, especially in America. All right, so that's history right there. And a lot of brothers will have that spirit as well, man. They will die peacefully and happily. They will take it because the Most High will put His spirit on them. See? So now, 10 says, Thomas was stabbed with a spear in India during one of his missionary trips to establish the church in the subcontinent. So at some point, we won't be able to go like that in the street because them guys, them niggas and them heathen, man, the animals, they will jump on us, man. Some point we're gonna have to be very wise and to kind of stay away from them streets because they're gonna come for us, So when the time comes, we will know it and we will just retreat, We'll just retreat. 11, Jude, which is one of brother as well of which is Judah, another from Yahweh. Jude, which is the second brother of Yahweh Shai. So you got James and Jude, they both follow the brother. Was killed with arrows when he refused to deny his faith in Hamashiach. You see that? He was killed, man. Matthias, the apostle chosen to replace the traitor Judas Iscariot, was stoned and then beheaded. You see that? So there will be traitors as well, man. There's brothers that are doing the truth, but they don't have the right spirit. We'll find that out when the time comes. Verse 13, Paul was tortured. I say verse 14, 13, okay? Number 13, Paul was tortured and then beheaded by the evil Emperor Nero at Rome in AD. See that? Paul endured a lengthy imprisonment, which allowed him to write his many epistles to the church he had formed throughout the Roman Empire. These letters, which though many of the foundational doctrine of Christianity, form a large portion of the New Testament. See that? Perhaps this is a reminder to us that our suffering here are indeed minor compared to the intense persecution of cold cruelty faced by the apostle and disciples during the time for the sake of Yahushua, for the sake of Amashiach and the faith. Now, this is, these probably records, by these Christians, but they don't understand that the same are back. These apostles are back today, man. These apostles are back today, man. All right. These apostles are back today. So that was it, man. I just wanted to edify the brothers and let them know that, listen, we into a very serious thing, man, and we have to focus on our salvation. You know, work out your salvation with fear and trembling, man. Without say shalom.